Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Gamma Ray Podcast. I'm Tim alongside Justin and Tim.
How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
All right, guys, and this week we're getting into the world of the goblin. Fucking
Dirty,
goblins,
dirty
man.
little goblins, man.
You know,
Yeah, they're little pricks.
I mean, they're kind of like ugly cute in a way. I mean, they're not that bad. I mean, I love like the 80s band Goblin that did a bunch of like horror movie soundtracks and shit. They're awesome.
Never heard of them.
Necrogoblicon.
Yeah,
They're
me
awesome.
I have heard of them.
Necrogoblicon. Yeah, that I've heard.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to them, it's something.
That's not a good way to
I like it. I mean,
be like,
I like
yo,
it.
man, you guys got to listen to these
I'm
guys.
endorsing it. I'm endorsing it. I think they're great.
something.
Yeah, there's something, right?
They're a lot of fun. They're definitely a lot of fun as far as like a metal band's concerned, I like sometimes it's nice to listen to a band that doesn't take themselves too serious, and they have like a cool theme to them,
Yeah. I mean, everything ain't got to be doom and gloom.
No, but that's what you expect, I guess,
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially out of metal.
Right. And as we always start, I think it's a good idea to kind of get a grasp on what a goblin is exactly. You know what I mean? Because if you think of a goblin, you get the one idea in your head. I think everybody knows what a fucking goblin kind of looks like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different varieties of them too. So
more than I thought.
Well, the one that
I
comes
will
to my
say
mind
that.
all the time first is, you ever see Legend?
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Bricks?
Oh, yep. That's what you expect.
Yeah, that's a goblin. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
That's exactly what you expect too.
Yeah.
yeah, everyone has the the long ears, real short, green, greedy, the whole nine.
And so like most descriptions, a goblin is a grotesque, small, like monstrous like creature that and it appears in a lot of European cultures and a lot of their stories. It's like a folklore thing, you know what I mean? Where it's, I don't know, is that like a troll? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind of those
like
kind
these
of stories.
these
like
creatures
mythological
show up
beings,
all over the world.
Yeah,
every culture has like a different version of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad too. It's all about
who you're listening to the story from.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's who's. It's like most things. Who's telling you the story, and then you're gonna get whatever fucking version they put out.
They feel like telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think generally the consensus is that, most people think they're bad, or they're,
Yeah, that's because of.
I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah,
I think that's more because of like modern fiction
modern
and like video
movies,
games,
literature. Yeah,
Lord of the
exactly.
Rings.
The
Thanks
weird
a lot,
part,
Peter Jackson. You know what I mean? He's the one that demonized them now.
Yeah.
Or no, they're orcs.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking
The
about. I don't know that movie.
No, but there was goblins.
The one part that I found weird, like interesting when I was looking these guys up, is that everyone sees them as green skinned.
Yeah.
That's a fairly new development.
Really? Because every time I think
like,
of a goblin, I think
green,
like booger green.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Originally, they were just like regular old flesh color. They didn't have these green tints to them until I think it was sometime in like the 1900s, 1800s, right around there is when somebody decided they were green.
I like them better green. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I like it better green. It makes it more like it makes it more like unworldly. You know what I mean? Because they're not like
actually, dude,
pink like me.
Honestly, I think like the regular skin colored ones would be far more terrifying.
Yeah, but I as far as the description goes, I like them better green. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just because I think it's in my brain that they're fucking green.
Well, I think the green it just automatically associates with it's not a garden gnome, it's not a what I mean? It's a goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing is too is like they're like again, it goes back to like who you're hearing the fucking story from, is that like some of the height ranges are like really dramatic. So it'll go from like the size of like a dwarf, you know what I mean? Not like a dwarf today, what we call dwarves, but like like the ones that worked on the fucking mountains,
mythical dwarves,
and carried axes and shit. You know what I mean? Like those guys. What was his name? Gimli.
Yeah.
So like from that size to like the size of a regular person, like what was it back in the Middle Ages? Like 5'6", 5'7" average height.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know what
People
I
were
mean? That's a
definitely
pretty
shorter back
big.
then.
That's a pretty big goblin. Because I always think,
Yeah.
like waist high. That's kind of always what you think. That they're
Well, see, I've
little dudes.
always pictured them kind of smaller than, like
Mhm.
even probably maybe, I don't know, maybe the size of a dwarf, but a lot more gangly.
Yeah, they're always like skinny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just more
Like
Like
deceptively
malnourished.
strong for how
Yeah.
skinny they are too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they look like gaunt.
Yeah, exactly.
And like in a lot of the cultures too, like in particular are the Scottish, the Irish, and the English folklore, where like the term goblin kind of just is like I don't know, like a bucket to throw a bunch of shit into that happens to them. Like any kind of like mischievous or like an evil spirit is a goblin.
Yeah,
It's
like a
catch-all
blanket
phrase.
term.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so it was basically their go-to.
yeah.
If you didn't know what else it was a
Yeah, but
goblin.
I love it. It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's a fucking goblin. They did it later with women
Yeah.
being witches. What does
Yeah,
that
they
mean?
did.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You know how to do math?
Burner.
How do you know if you're a witch?
To the stake.
You're about to find out when I throw you in the fucking lake
Yeah.
where rocks tied around you.
Yeah, and if you float, you're a witch. If you don't,
Sorry.
sorry.
My
blame
bad,
it-
but you're still
Yeah, you
dead.
can blame the
Yeah.
goblins for that one.
Yeah. And in addition, they're often described too as having like similar magical abilities to like a demon or a fairy, and they can like shapeshift into like different creatures, kind of like the Skinwalker.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a shapeshifter like that. But there are some accounts that claim the goblins are like invisible. You know what I mean? They're kind of like isn't like a djinn. Like a djinn's
Okay.
invisible. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're just like invisible creatures. And one thing I don't understand though is like if they're invisible to the human eye
Then how
and
anybody see them?
and could be confused for like a lot of people were like thought they had ghosts or phantoms in their fucking house. It was really a goblin. You know what I
How'd you
mean?
know if you can't see them?
That's my point.
I
So like
mean-
it was like a widely known thing too. Like, oh, this is what one looks like.
I mean, like, what you better hope you knock
Without,
a can of flour on them or something, or you know what I mean?
I was actually thinking about that. Like they took a bag of flour, just like slapped it in the face.
They hit it with
That
like
way
a pie.
That way you'd be like, you little bastard, I see you.
Like it was like a booby trap, like a cream pie, like on a hand. And,
Like Home Alone style.
yeah, he like hit the tripwire.
I got you, you little
Like
bastard.
a giant hand hits him in the. Now I know what you look like. And I mean, first appearing in the Middle Ages, though, that's so. I think a lot of these kind of stories and like creature stuff came out around there. I feel like a lot of stuff gets their origin
Only the
from
best
that time
stories
period.
come from the Middle Ages.
Yeah, because there was
They
nothing
all
good
have
happening.
happy endings.
Did you,
You know,
yeah.
the
You
girl
know what the
marries
regular
the
lives were like?
prince.
That's the only place there was a happy ending. Was in a story about goblins.
Yeah,
Well, that was sarcasm. They all die horribly.
horrible
Yeah.
Everyone
deaths.
dies in every one
Yeah,
of their
I mean,
stories.
Yeah, the Black Plague.
The Middle Ages was not a fun time in human history.
No, god dang. I mean, but it's like been romanticized. Like
Unfortunately,
King Arthur and shit like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't real. You know what I mean?
Well,
Sword in the Stone, Merlin shit wasn't real.
no.
I mean, it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's like he's flying around with a fucking dragon. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's not rocking, Excalibur, and
Right.
And then you're
So
the
that's a
next
cool
king of
story,
England.
though.
did you
like
just
it-
assume my beliefs? I believe all
Yeah.
those medieval stories. Okay,
Well, that
you have
makes you an
triggered me,
idiot.
good sir.
That makes you an idiot. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
But
Thank you.
like, I mean, but it's like stuff like that, like King Arthur, goblins, troll, like trolls under the bridge and shit. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't no, never mind. I was gonna say Hansel and Gretel, but that's stupid too. I think that's like 1,000 years later. But it was like a long time after that. But like a lot of those cool ass stories, man, came from that time period that we still are into today.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
there's something about those stories that keep them going.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I think
they're
and
like
good
really cool
writing.
stories that just they stand the test of time, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call them good stories. I think it would just be like our fascination with the unknown.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
than
especially
anything.
then.
Yeah. I mean, I
well, see,
do
back
think,
when they made them.
yeah,
I mean, if the church said it was true, if the king said it was true, that was fact.
Yeah,
right.
then it was true. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there wasn't any doubt in these people's minds that these creatures existed.
Yeah. Well, that's because he was tripping balls off that like poison wheat that spread the
Oh,
plague and stuff. You know what I mean?
What was the name of that stuff? I
Ignat,
can't. I
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
it's
a
on the tip
dude,
of my tongue, but I
like a
can't remember what the hell they
crazy,
called it.
like crazy, terrifying, like psychedelic trip. We were doing a Pavelia, I was like, dude, that's how they got it was from like wheat and shit.
Yeah, it was
Like
like
and it spread
badly
to
stored
Italy and all
wheat.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Got
And it,
bacteria,
yeah, the bacteria, yeah,
fungal
got on it.
growth or something. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, plus you got to understand too. Back then, we were still gatherers. You know what I mean, hunter gatherers,
Yeah.
and they're also eating forest.
Well, you
mushrooms.
always like expect like in those like what like goblins and castles and stuff like that they're eating like a giant like fucking turkey leg
like
and
a
they have like a
turkey
bunch of
leg.
like grapes
You
and
talk
like
about like
fruit
the
around them.
cartoon meat with two.
Yeah, where it's like
the two
it's like
pieces of
it's like
bone on either
gigantic.
side.
Yeah, they're just like eating it like that. I mean, I think that's kind of what you think. You know what I mean? But in reality, I mean, they're just eating
Well, I mean, that's what
rotten
Renaissance fair
food.
to make you think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, dude,
everybody's
like,
walking around with a big turkey leg and a bowl of gruel.
I did see somewhere it was like even being peasants, they still ate like fairly well. It wasn't like going days without hunger. There were a lot of stews, but there would be like meat and vegetables in it.
Well, that's bullshit. I've been broke before, and then I went like 2 days without eating.
I went like 3 weeks on nothing but fucking ramen. Like,
showing your fandom again, weeb.
What?
Hey, man,
Dude, you get like 5,000 pounds of ramen for like
what is it?
50
What is it that he
cents.
says before he eats every time? Naruto. He says some shit before he eats. Do you do that too?
No, I don't, but I know
Like-
what you're saying. I'm not going to say it. For
Like,
you.
but you do know it too. Like that, he knows it. He knows it. But all right, so back to goblins, man. So yeah, okay. So they appeared in the Middle Ages, but they do have, again, it's all going to go back to storytelling. Really, they have the conflicting abilities, their appearances, their temperaments, and really, it's separated by like country. You know what I mean? Like whatever their culture is about. You know what I mean? They kind of like took that tail in, and you kind of rearrange it to fit whatever the cultural belief is at the time.
Yeah.
And some believe that the goblin are like malevolent creatures and they create nightmares out of this stuff called gossamer. And then when you're sleeping, they drop it in your ears and it gives you nightmares. Which
Like an
is
earwig.
fucked. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's yeah.
You know how often I worry about like
So
spiders?
you mean to
crawling
tell
in my
me I
ears when
gotta
I'm sleeping?
I got these
I
little
gotta worry about
bastards to
this?
explain my night terrors?
Yeah, and then you're gonna drop this shit on me? The goblins are breaking into my house and putting shit in my ears?
It's
You got a
insane.
whole new
Christ.
phobia you didn't know about.
Yeah.
No, I got it now. Somebody Google what is the fear of goblins. Dude, it's got to exist.
Hold on.
It has to exist. All
Oh,
right. So
I'm,
in
sure,
the
I'm sure it
meantime,
does.
I mean,
I'm sure it does.
there's a lot of rumors too, in those times where they would steal children and women, and then they would bring them underground, to their like lair, I guess, you know what I mean, wherever they live, and would imprison them there, like captive. It's not really. There's a lot of stuff like what they would do to them, you know what I mean, like kind of torture them, and I never really heard any stories about them like killing them though. It was
yeah,
all
I mean,
more
like they weren't killing them or eating them or anything, right?
right.
I mean,
There's not a lot of stories about people getting eaten by goblins.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bogey phobia or boogie phobia?
Boogie
What it's
phobia.
called.
It's-
Yep. It's the fear of the boogeyman. People with this fear also dislike demons, goblins, spirits, and etc.
I thought that was like the fear of like disco music or something.
Oh, dude.
That's I mean, I guess that's as close as you're gonna get.
Oh, yeah.
That's as close as you're gonna get to like a goblin phobia. You know what I mean? But there's
No,
like
it
lichen
literally says it
phobia
in
and
there.
stuff, isn't it? Like where you're like afraid of werewolves and like,
Yeah, I'm
fucking
sure
terrified
there
of
is.
werewolves. It's like, well, that is the definition of an irrational fear because they're not real.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know?
mean, if you have a true fear of werewolves, man.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I am terrified that like fucking Godzilla is gonna like destroy my house. Like, it's like, what are you talking about?
Kaiju phobia.
He's not real, man. Like, not a real guy.
But dude, there's actually a lot of different versions of goblins, of who's already stated. I mean, like,
Right.
damn near every country in the world has their own version.
Right.
But in like Scottish, English, and which was weird to me, but I guess it shouldn't have been, Pilgrim folklore.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
they're all around the same place.
It was weird when I saw it, but they came from that country. It doesn't.
Yeah, they came from the same area, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
You don't think of it when.
I mean, Pilgrims were basically Puritans, right?
I think they were a little like more extreme than Puritans.
They were so uptight, the British kicked them out.
Yeah,
that's how fun
that's
they
pretty
were.
uptight, man.
Because those fuckers are stuffy. Like, dude, you gotta take it down a couple notches, man. Holy shit!
Y'all are burning the whole vibe of the place down.
Yeah, even the Pope's like, "Yo,
dude,
knock it down a notch."
We're gonna send you across the ocean. You might fall off the edge. I don't know.
Never know.
We're gonna give it a shot, though.
We still think the Earth.
See what happens. But they had a version of the goblin called the Hobgoblin.
Yes, I remember that Spider-Man villain.
Great character, by the way. But it according to them, though, it wasn't a malevolent creature.
Oh.
In fact, it was fairly friendly.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, like it enjoyed playing tricks and like on humans, and
so, but not like
it was
malicious.
more or less a nuisance,
right? Not more like malicious, just like, you know, I mean, like tying your shoelaces
are you fucking
together.
Serious?
Kind of
like again?
Yeah, just kind of like pranks.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
It's like, how many more times I gotta wake up with no fucking eyebrows?
Yeah,
like, yeah.
He puts like a whoopee cushion under you when right before you sleep. You sit down, you know.
But like, dude, like for instance, in Northern Spanish and the Portuguese myths,
right?
They had one that was called the Trasgu. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but
it's exotic sounding.
Yeah, the Trasgu.
Ooh.
But the weird part is, dude, is that this one actually shows up in both Celtic and Roman legends as well.
So it goes back pretty far.
Well, the Romans were everywhere,
essentially
man.
the same creature under a different name.
I mean, that just shows you that it goes back farther than.
We're talking BC times, probably.
Yeah.
Because Rome was every fucking where.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they basically conquered the known world.
Yep.
At the time.
Oh yeah. Well, in Greek tradition, now I'm going to mess this one up pretty hard.
Yeah.
The Kalakantazaros.
Oh yeah, that's the last name of the dude that was on Full House, Jesse Calacantazaros. That's crazy that they named him after a goblin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like, that's their version.
I like that character a lot more now. Now that I know that.
Well, that's the Greeks version. So I mean, these things go back a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, dude, probably the most like well-known version of the goblin,
right,
is something called the Red Hat. He goes under, a bunch of different names.
Right.
But this is where I think a lot of people get the goblins are evil stereotype from.
Sure.
Because he is like just a murderous, like malevolent goblin.
Right.
And what's known as like in border folklore.
Yeah, I think that's like Ireland and Scotland, because aren't they on the same island, or am I imagining that?
I think Ireland's on its own, but I think it's Scotland and England.
Great.
But in any case, it's like right on the, as it would say, the border. And he loved to inhabit abandoned castles, especially ones that had seen like scenes of tyranny and wicked deeds.
Right. Well, they didn't want to go there because of the bad mojo.
Yeah, bad energy.
Yeah, like it loved just this like negative energy that these things had.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets his name from the fact that for obvious reasons, his hat's red, but it's soaked in the blood of humans.
Well, yeah, man. Like I've seen where this guy's a little asshole.
Red cap.
Red cap.
Right? Yeah, is it red hat or is it red cap?
It's a red cap. Yeah, it's Red Cap.
Red Cap. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes by Red Comb and Bloody Cap as well. So
Oh wow,
real.
And,
that's
like I've
fucking
heard, like
sweet marketing.
yeah. I mean, firstly, he likes to throw like boulders to see if he can take you out that way.
He liked to kill.
He's
If
having
he
fun.
could, he'd kill you
Yeah.
by hitting you in the head with rocks.
I mean, like, how big of an asshole do you have to be?
Well,
Like
I can
hide in
already
the
see him
rafters and
now. Just yeah, he's just drunk because he's Irish, and then he's just throwing giant fucking rocks at your head,
He's just in
giggling
a
like
badass
a fucker.
mood.
Yeah,
He's like, fuck this guy.
yeah. Just start throwing
Well, see
rocks
what
at
he-
you. Potatoes.
rotten potatoes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
even worse. But see, he loved
They're covered in plague. Like,
these
it's
people. Like, yeah, it wasn't just like passersby. It'd
Right.
be people trying to take refuge in the castle or whatever ruined building he was inhabiting.
like from
So-
like weather and
Yeah,
and
whether
like
they're
that.
trying to spend the night there, 'cause
Right.
they're
Okay.
traveling,
Okay. Right.
and he'd wait for you to like go to sleep. That's how he'd try to get you.
Okay. Oh shit.
But dude, honestly, the description of him is like terrifying, especially if you saw him.
Right.
Like this dude is no joke. He's short,
Yep.
thick set, like these old elf looking son of a bitch.
So he's like short and stocky.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's got these long teeth, like protruding teeth.
Oh,
His
like
eyes,
like the canines kind of
Yeah,
look,
like
or is it
straight.
like all of them are like fucking like shark teeth?
Or kind of like
For the ones I saw, it was more like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
kind of like an underbite almost, but not quite.
Ah.
It's
Okay.
a weird little fucker to look at, honestly. But he had these large eyes that like glowed like fiery red, skinny fingers that with nails on them like an eagle, like these giant fingernails.
Jesus
Grizzly-
Christ, man.
Yeah, like already he's terrifying, dude. Like he's got
That's scary
these
as hell.
like grizzly, greasy looking hair that went down to his shoulders.
Right.
If the teeth wasn't bad enough, now he's got talons.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not even like his main weapon, dude. Like this dude rocks a pair of iron boots and a pike staff that he carries in his left hand.
Right. So
So he's
he's
clomping
throwing rocks
around.
at you, then he's like throwing spears like fucking 300.
Yeah. And then if that doesn't work, he's gonna stomp your face in with
With a
Yeah,
pair of
iron-
fucking iron
Or
boots.
iron
Yeah.
boots.
Christ.
if you're still somehow alive, he's gonna gut you with
Right.
his damn talons. Like this dude ain't no joke.
You think it would be hard for him to sneak up on you with those iron boots, though?
No, they're actually like
Yeah,
a lot of
light
the
as-
legends about him.
Light as a
You
feather.
would think you'd be able to outrun him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he's super
and you are
fast.
not outrunning this dude. Like,
Yeah, even in the boots, he's like super fast.
yeah, he's
No
like
escape.
supernaturally fast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like once he targets you, you're pretty much dead.
You're dead. Yeah.
So you might as well
And-
just go ahead and be like, ride it out and be like, you know what, dude, just go ahead and get it over with.
Yeah,
Fight him.
like, hope that you could.
Hope for
Yeah,
quick
either
death.
that or hope that he kills you quick.
There's
Yeah,
a good
oh,
chance
yeah.
you're bigger than him. Just fucking try to
Yeah,
fight
but
him.
he's fucking carrying a pike staff. You
I
ain't
mean, you
getting
gotta do
close.
something. You obviously can't run from him. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
And he's got supernatural strength. I mean, I mean,
Exactly.
you got to give your best effort.
Well, actually, dude, like if you especially back in this time, a lot of people would have these would be you could fight them off with either crucifix or scripture, like words from scripture of the Bible.
How convenient.
Yeah, that does seem a little convenient.
It was Catholicism, man. It was everywhere.
Yeah, everything back then
Yep.
you could fight off with crucifixes, saying Jesus' name,
Yep.
holding the Bible up.
Yep.
I mean, I would think if these things are as badass as they say they are, that they've been around a lot longer than that, probably. So, but like you
Yeah,
said,
but that was like the number one rule to keep evil away back
yeah,
in the
with
Middle Ages.
scripture,
It was a get out of everything
yeah,
card.
Free
You
card,
know what I
much.
mean?
yeah, for
Like
sure.
it was
yeah.
Well,
whatever was happening.
When all else fails,
what really sucks for him though was that he had to keep his hat wet with fresh blood. So he had to kill constantly.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if his hat dried up, he'd die.
well, I mean, yeah, that would make you have to, I mean,
Yeah.
goddamn, you have to kill somebody every 6-8 hours. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it must be like he gets like the nutrients and shit like that from our blood. like sustains them
Yeah,
or something.
I think it's just something to do with like magically with them.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
really what it boils down to.
Yeah. I think a lot of this
You got
stuff is
you got to remember
like
too is
centered
that
in magic. You know.
a lot of these creatures are based in pagan uh the
So
pagan religion.
pagan witchcraft.
Yeah, blood
Yeah,
serves a very important purpose in pagan rituals.
that's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would only kind of make sense if he's
Well,
if
it's
he
like
died
it's
out.
like the it's like lifeblood. You know what I mean? It's like what
Yeah.
gives everything the ability to be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like blood, water. You know what I mean? Plankton. What is it?
Just keep on going.
Metamorphosis. I don't know.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's like that though. You know what I mean? Where like kind of like Elizabeth Bathory, who bathed in blood because she thought it kept her young.
Because it's kept her young. Or
Because all
even,
the stuff
you know,
that's in it. You know what I mean? Like your like
Yeah.
blood is everything. You know what I mean? It's your essence.
Yeah, she
it's
thought
your
bathing
energy.
in the blood of virgins
yeah, would keep her
was gonna
young.
keep her alive forever. Yeah.
I mean, you could even go back to the Norse mythology, you know, I mean, the Norse world where, you know, they would bless their fields with blood, you know, they would
Yeah.
sacrifice one of their villagers, you know what I mean? Like for, you know,
That's
kind of good luck, kind of
yeah.
like good luck in battle kind of thing, you know, and like they
Yeah.
would ask for volunteers and some dude would be like, yeah, go ahead and, you know, I'll take it.
How
Right.
bad your life gotta suck? We're like, hey, we're looking to slit someone's throat. I'm like, yo, me right here, this guy.
Yeah, to
You're
honor
just
the
like-
gods. So blood is important,
Oh!
dude.
Like, damn it, Frank. You had your chance last year. It's my
You
turn.
volunteer every time.
Yeah.
Let somebody else
My
have a turn. Fucking asshole.
I mean,
mean,
blood's
it
Dude
important,
just
man.
hated his wife. Is all.
So
I
it, so
want.
it so like it kind of makes sense though. Then you know what I mean? Like in magic terms, that it would have to be soaked in blood all the time
Yeah,
to keep
he
him
was
all to keep him
constantly having to
sustained.
do it.
Yeah. So like I mean, which makes me assume that he's also like keeping the bodies around. Because I mean,
I
you
never
just keep
saw anywhere where
dipping it in
he
blood for a
said,
long
like,
ass time. You know what I mean?
which
Yeah, I was
would make
wondering that,
sense
or did
too.
he spirit away, like, you know, like a bucket? Did he like drain them and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
If he
think
was smart.
the gist I got would he would kill you, and while the blood was still warm, he'd dip his hat in it.
Okay.
That's kind of the gist I was getting from it, but it never did explain where the bodies went.
So now it's all about temperature. So if it's
I don't think it was about temperature. I think it was like, you know, blood goes bad pretty quick.
Yeah.
well, that's okay. You got me on that one because it coagulates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't
That's a
keep it
good word.
around for weeks on end.
That's just a fun word to coagulate.
Coagulate.
Say it.
I'm surprised you knew a big word like that.
I saw it on Blade.
Anyway, I I saw it on Angel. I don't know if you remember that show.
Oh my god, dude, you are just the epitome. Oh my god.
Were you a big Buffy fan too?
Yes, he
I
was.
was,
I guarantee
actually.
it. Yeah. If he's watching Angel, he's watching Buffy, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't you think he's not?
No, I watched all of Buffy and then everything on Angel.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It
It is.
doesn't happen often, but I'm speechless. Yeah.
I gotta ask, do you watch Riverdale too, man?
No, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna
He's
be
not
real
an
honest.
Archie guy.
Oh, okay. You're not an artsy guy.
No. Although he does remind you of the guy to ask for cheeseburgers and he'll pay him tomorrow. Is that Archie?
That's Wimpy. No, that's Popeye, man.
Oh, is that Popeye? Oh, shit. God damn, dude.
I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today.
Dude, I'm batting like 100 right now. I've missed a lot of facts on this episode already. Like it's not going good.
No, it is not for you.
So, like, considering though, like, goblins are pretty fucked creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Bricks.
even
I
the
mean-
most tame ones are just kind of annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why? It's like, man, are you just playing tricks on people, or then just killing them as they walk by? It seems pretty rough.
It's definitely one of those like they demand respect whether you want to give it or not.
Well, I mean, it's almost like they're bipolar. You know what I mean? Like first they help you clean your house at night.
Yep.
But then if you piss them off,
They drop shit in your ears.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here, take this earwig, asshole.
Just drop trow.
They just like jump.
I mean, they're just little pricks, man. So apparently, one of the best known beings of Austrian
Asturian.
mythology, just in case you didn't know where that was, it's a community in southwest Spain, and it shares its mythologies with the Celtics. See, a lot of stuff goes back to the Celtics.
Yeah.
I mean, King Arthur, everybody, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff goes back to the Celtics.
They're hella old. Like, I mean, they're super fucking old, man.
Yeah, I mean,
aren't they like druids?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't they go all the way back to like the Stonehenge days and shit?
Before that. Well, yeah, depending on what what's the word I'm looking for there? Conspiracy theory you want to listen to.
Oh,
Stonehenge is millions of years old.
Oh, you're talking about Stonehenge. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about Stonehenge. But I think the Druids is probably the best well-known one.
Right.
Yeah. Stonehenge. But apparently, man, he's like the Trasgu, it's a domestic goblin with a mischievous and nervous nature. So is this thing like running around and it's got like
anxiety? It's got like anxiety.
It's
got like Tim's long lost brother is what it is.
Yeah.
His doppelganger.
I do have sharp, long teeth and
nervous character tears.
And it's basically represented by a tiny man who has a limp with his right leg.
So like a pimp walk.
Yeah. So yeah, basically. I'm sure he's probably got like a dope cane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a live squid in it.
Yeah. And apparently,
what?
You don't remember that?
No, I've never heard that before in my life.
Dude, I can't remember what movie that is. Like,
oh my god.
He was walking around with like goldfish and shit in his like disco shoes.
That shit was killing me. Okay.
Apparently, he also had dark skin, a pointy red hat, and is seen wearing red clothing.
See, even that red hat part shows up a lot.
Like with the red cap thing.
Yeah, like I gnomes think like a lot of stories about like having red hats.
Yeah, gnomes. Yep.
Yeah, the gnomes, the garden gnomes.
Yep.
And he can easily be identified due to a hole in his left hand. Like, okay. Well, I don't know what that's about.
When I was looking him up, and it's like a hole, like bored out, like that.
For what purpose? I mean, does it say
just because?
Find any purpose for it?
Whatever.
So no. You can do magic tricks and shit.
Yeah, I guess
whatever created him just really hated him.
You're like, whoa. Yeah, that like blew my mind.
And he's also described as having horns, a tail. See, and this one really don't make sense either, but because they're always considered small, but long legs and sheep ears, wearing a long black and gray cloak.
So you're gonna notice him.
Yeah. So he's basically like a little miniature Gandalf running around.
Yeah.
With a pimp walk.
Yeah, he's walking around like fucking.
Yeah.
And
like a bitch better have his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if you don't, he's sending red cap.
That's what the hole's for.
That's why he's got the cloak.
So the powder doesn't build up on his hand.
Yeah.
But he's also described as small, with long, thin legs, and wearing a tight, dark brown dress.
See, like those are the things about those stories. You know what I mean? Where you're like, well, which is it? You know what I mean? But then if you look back, I mean, there's discrepancies between that they're dwarf size and human size.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the same thing, like even with fairies. People always think of fairies as these tiny little creatures.
Yeah.
But they go from that size to like 6 foot. Like some have wings, some don't. It's
like the exact opposite. Fairies, they're kind of throughout lore, I guess, and like modern day anyway. there's nothing really bad attributed to fairies. Fairies are always good, but fairies could be fucking pricks too.
Fairies,
I mean, they're evil
little
little
side note that I just happen to know about them. To be honest with you. If they look good, they're bad. If they look hideous, they're good.
Oh, so they
The
they
bad
kind of lure you in.
ones, yeah, it's like it's a trap essentially.
Well, it's like you look at the
They look
fairy, you're
really
like, you know,
good
I
and
know
pretty
she's
are
not
the ones
the.
that are.
You look at the fairy, like I know she's not the prettiest thing, but she's got a great personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some are like straight up evil.
As long as she hooks me up.
Yeah.
But you know,
Man,
they're
I need some
also
more of that fairy dust, man.
yeah,
Don't hold out on me.
yeah. I know you holding.
Throws it
But
up
they're
like
also-
LeBron James.
She's just running around the forest, just throwing shit like. But they're also attributed to nocturnal noises and small pranks, like changing the location of objects in the house.
I
And
knew
he
it.
enters the home at night when the inhabitants are sleeping in their beds.
Yeah.
Why is it always at
So
night?
so it's like a B&E.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. These guys are breaking in.
Yeah,
You
they're
know
like
what I mean?
they're like
Just-
pint-sized.
Just kind of moving stuff around.
They're like pint-sized night stalkers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Like when the Manson family used to break in and do the creepy crawly.
yeah,
They just
exactly.
break in
Yeah.
and move the furniture around and then leave.
Dude, that's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's
He's
so
like,
weird.
damn, dude. Especially if he's good. It's like, why you got to come in at night when we're sleeping?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this has nothing to do with the story, but I do remember like a news story years back where a guy like broke into people's houses and like cleaned it. You're like, well,
Well, at least, yeah.
he
Clean
didn't
the
murder
house.
her in her sleep. I mean, he folded the laundry and like fucking took out the trash, like
Yeah, I mean,
unclogged
you know.
her fucking drains. You know,
I appreciate it, but
Yeah,
still,
let's
get out
not
of my
forget that,
house.
you know, he could have basically bludgeoned us to death.
yeah.
But hey, he cleaned the house and he did the laundry. And
I don't know,
apparently,
man. Sometimes you can come in and break into my house if you want to clean, by
yeah,
all
you
means.
want to clean it. Absolutely.
but get out afterwards.
Yeah.
You just be gone before I get up.
Yeah.
I'll leave you cookies and milk. It's the only other guy that's acceptable to break into my house.
Yeah. He's a trash goo. Like, yeah, dude, just clean up, you know, do what you got to do. But apparently, if you pissed him off, he'd break kitchen stuff, spook your cattle, messes up your folded clothes. In your dresser
Dude,
drawer.
that would piss me off so bad because like I never fold my clothes.
And then when
So
you
if I
finally
actually
do, you
took the
feel good
time to
about it.
fold my clothes,
And then you just wake up and they're strewn about. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
You're like, ooh, you little bastard.
you're like, well, I mean that sounds like me. Like I wouldn't do that, but pretty sure that they folded those fucking things.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure, man.
Hmm.
I'm pretty positive. And apparently, he spills water on the floor too, generally causing a ton of mischief. So they're like little pranksters, man. But you know, how many dogs got their ass whooped?
Oh yeah, thinking that it was like them, like doing it.
Yeah, like
The damn
their
dog
animal
got
done
into the clothes.
pissed on the floor and got into the fucking, you know what I mean? Got into their fucking clothes. But apparently these activities don't cost a lot of, they don't cost them money, man. You know, like material damage.
Yeah, it's like little nuisance kind of
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, yeah,
That's
exactly.
all
Because
that really
basically they
is.
find
Yeah.
everything as they left it, just in different places. You
Right.
know what I mean? And on the other hand, if he's treated well, he does house, here's another, he comes in and he does the chores.
Huh.
But here's the key though.
I need one of them in my house.
I need one of them on my credit report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
if
in
you
and
could
clean
do
it.
something. Yeah. Please.
But it's hilarious because it's like, he does house chores into the people's houses that he breaks into. So, now we're back to the B&E again.
Yeah, dude, these guys are literally just breaking the law.
Yeah.
Constant every night.
Yeah.
And, like basically, apparently, one way to get rid of them. Also, what I've heard about these trash goo is that you can move and they're going to follow you. Like, that's not going to work.
It's very similar in
Yeah.
story to like a poltergeist or something.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
like if you
actually,
have
I
a
read
cursed
a s-
object.
It
I read a
follows
story
you.
about these guys. That was like once they're attached to the family, not the house.
Hmm.
So there was a story going on where it's like the wife asked the husband, she's like, "Did you forget the vase?" or something like along those lines.
Right.
And then behind her in the wagon, you heard the trash goo go, "Yes, you did, but I have it." Like he grabbed it and brought it with him, and they were trying to run from him. So like these little fuckers, you're not getting away from them.
Yeah, there's no getting away from. Yeah, they'll follow you no matter where you go.
Yeah,
I can see him just jumping on the back. Let's go. Stepping on the side of the cart.
Got your race.
Hello.
Y'all forgot this.
don't worry, I got it for you.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of me, bro. I paid my rent this month.
Just gives you a thumbs. Got it.
So apparently, really, one of the only ways to get rid of these things, man, is to ask it, kind of like with the fairy thing, ask it to do an impossible task. Like when you ask a fairy to count grains of sugar or grains of rice, which I think would be, or bringing a basket full of water from the ocean, or whitening the black sheep.
Yeah, because
black sheep.
It would be like bring like handfuls of rice, but they could never do it because it would fall through the hole in their hand. The same with the water.
Same with the water. Exactly.
It falls through the basket.
Yes.
Did you say basket, not bucket?
Yes, basket.
So it drains out and
so no matter what, I mean, literally every time they get 5 feet, they're gonna have to turn back around.
Yep. So they'd never be able to do it.
I mean, it seems like he's gonna just keep doing it forever.
Yeah, the poor guy's just stuck there.
Yeah, and all he did was move your fucking keys. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, he's there for 100 years trying to get fucking water.
Yeah, it's like, here, you little fuck. I mean, I know you clean my house.
I think what it boils down to is that these things are real prideful. They believe they could do anything.
Anything, yeah.
And if you give them a task they can't, that's impossible. Eventually, what happens is they finally get to the realization that they can't do the task, and essentially become like hyper embarrassed and just leave, and go build their pride back before they go back to doing to a new house.
Well, yeah, I mean, so basically you just hurt their pride is what you did.
Yeah, you hurt their feelings, you fucking jerk.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I mean, dude, that kind of goes back with like, if you think about it, like what we talked about in the beginning with like even hobgoblins, man. Like it was said that, a way to get rid of them would be to offer them a new piece of clothing. And they would get offended that you think either one, they need new clothing, or two, that they couldn't get it to, that they couldn't get it for themselves. There's like this pride theme kind of going with these things.
Well, also one of the stories I heard about the hobgoblins with the new clothes would be essentially they do all the chores for you, but if you tried to give them new clothes, they'd be like, well, I don't want to get rid of them. They'd put them on, and they're like, well, I'm not going to do chores in my new clothes, and just say, see ya.
Say, fuck it.
I also heard, like, with a hobgoblin, though, like, if you get them pissed off, they throw exploding pumpkins at you.
Can they really hate anybody named Peter Parker?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
But
I mean, I guess you got to get rid of them some way, though, right? I mean,
if they're gonna fucking follow you,
yeah, it would be.
I don't know.
If they're being helpful, I got the impression that nobody wanted them around.
I mean, I don't know. When you think it'd be cool to have
think
a little
about the Middle Ages,
to hang out with?
If the damn goblin took all your chores, what are you going to do for fun?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They didn't know how to read.
Lift rocks. Put them back down where you picked them up.
Yes.
Like, what else is there to
back
do?
And fucking drink with the goblin by the fire.
Well, that was my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what?
Oh, it's only noon. Well.
What now?
So they'll do chores. That's goddamn goblin.
I can only tell because I don't have a shadow. Somebody should invent a clock. Yeah.
For the love of God, somebody.
Yeah. Make this day go by quicker.
Go back to this to the Greek stories with the Kalakentazaros. I'm just
let it roll, man.
I'm done with that name. I'm gonna be
okay.
Of the Greeks, they are said to be creatures of the night.
Okay.
Right? They never appear in daylight. They stay underground almost all year long until they'll come back out in Christmas Day until January 6th. These days, yeah, they're also synonymous with the winter solstice.
So now
Okay.
here we go back
Those
to the pagan
dates,
thing
right?
again.
Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
25th to the 6th is like when
the winter solstice.
that's when like
What was it? Shortest day of the year or something?
yeah, I think so.
Something like, yeah, it's the sun doesn't move in the sky
Right.
like up or down, you know.
Right.
And these things will stay for they call it a fortnight, which I think is 2 weeks. If I'm
Yeah,
not
it is.
mistaken.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
But you know, and that's during when the sun ceases its seasonal movement.
Right. So it's not like, where it doesn't go as high in the sky or something like that. Like it's summer and winter, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
those are the two big.
Yeah,
the summer solstice and the winter solstice are like big deals in Celtic and pagan. What's the word I'm looking for? Religions.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of that had to do with too, man. Like as far as planting crops, bringing in crops.
Yep.
Like I mean,
hyper important.
Yeah.
That was between you and starvation, basically, if you didn't pay attention.
Yep.
Yeah, the stories of these goblins, though, man, like I said, they stay underground and they saw at the World Tree.
Okay.
So the World Tree, okay, so that's definitely pagan.
Kind of like the Norse.
Yep.
Yggdrasil, I think is what it's called.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah. And this tree holds up the earth. All right, so it's really important for these things not to finish sawing at this thing.
See, and I thought we were on the back of a turtle this whole time.
No, really, I thought it was an elephant.
An elephant?
Yeah.
God, don't you guys know? It's neither of that. The earth is flat.
Yeah, it's a flat disc propelling through space.
Yeah. We're frisbeeing through space right now.
Yeah. With a big dome over it.
Cats knocking shit off the edge.
But anyways, man, like their goal is to get this tree to collapse and to end all life on Earth.
Well, that's kind of fucked up of them.
Yeah.
I mean, but you see, like, what I don't understand with that either, like, well, that would also end your life.
Yeah, but they don't. I don't think
they
care for it.
You think their life is so miserable living underground that they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna kill everybody?
Wouldn't yours?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You live in a fucking
there eating earthworms and roots,
like 340 something days a year.
Yeah,
you can't come outside.
Your whole existence is like sawing at a tree.
Yeah.
You leave for 2 weeks and come back and you got to start all over again.
No, you go on vacation and it's like.
Well, see, that's actually part of it, dude. Is that right as they're getting ready to saw away the final part?
Okay.
That's when the solstice happens. Christmas shows up. They're able to come to the surface for 2 weeks. But while they're up on the surface, dude, they completely forget about the tree. So these guys have short-term memory. Like, it's gone.
Well, that's because they all gather around in a circle and start swaying the Yahoo door. They're Who's, man. That's where he got the idea. That's a little known.
So the Who's are truly goblins.
Yeah.
The Grinch definitely
that's a
like
little known fact. That's a little Dr. Seuss.
I didn't know.
Knowledge for you.
You learn something new every day. Yeah. But their goal on the surface is just to cause as much trouble for the mortals as possible.
I get it. You got to have fun, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you spend the rest of the time just sawing, yeah.
I mean, it's like that, like The Shining, like all work and no play makes goblins dull boys,
Well, yeah, I mean, for 340 something, days of the year, man, they're just sitting there nonstop, just.
Yeah.
That's not bad, man. Like 2-week vacation.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Just to go torment whoever the hell you can find.
Yeah, it's great.
Have a ball. But the problem is, dude, is that on the Epiphany, which January 6th, the sun starts moving again.
Okay.
But now they're forced back underground to continue their sawing.
Okay.
But the problem is, when they get there, they realize that the World Tree has had time to heal itself, and they got to start all over again.
Yeah, they're dumb.
Yeah, like every single time, every year. They just happen to forget this damn thing's going to heal itself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, after 200 years, you think they'd start catching on, or what, thousands of years or whatever, however long they've been doing it.
I think it's a good way for them to kind of like, it's just storytelling for understanding seasons and why the sun doesn't move and all that kind of shit,
Yep.
It's just a convenient story. They don't look into
important parts of your oral history.
Yeah, they're not like learning they're not learning from the mistake,
Well, yeah, I mean, back then, man, there wasn't nobody going, I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I just Googled these stories that shit, and nah, man, you're wrong.
But it could have even been part of the whole finish what you start kind of.
Yeah.
Because you left right near the end.
Yep.
Now you got to, you didn't finish your project. Now it's
ruined.
You got to start again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's anti-union propaganda.
Getting started early, making sure that was laid the foundations for it. But lastly, man, like German folklore. Now we all know the German folklore is
dark.
Yeah, it usually is. But these guys aren't actually too bad.
Okay.
The Germans call them the kobolds.
Yeah, and Hugo Boss designed his like clothes and stuff. That's cool.
The kobolds are dependent on the description. They can almost have like a canine looking face sometimes. But most of the time they look pretty much like every other kind of canine.
Goblin.
That's what I was like. Damn, now they werewolves.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, these things get around, man. They're a little bit of everything.
It's like, holy shit, man. I've been talking about goblins this whole episode.
Yeah, you've been talking about goblins. I've been talking about werewolves. All right, so we really need to get on the same page.
I can't believe it came together the way it did. This is incredible.
Awesome. No, dude, but they're actually, again, they're mischievous.
Yep.
They're playful spirits.
Great.
Yeah.
They haunt households, and they're known to be like a helpful monster.
Okay.
And again, the same thing. They do chores around the house. So the stories of goblins, the main part of what they are pretty much sticks. Like their core mythology sticks no matter what country you're in.
Right. Yeah.
They're always in your house. They're always willing to help you do chores as long as you're treating them right. If not, they're gonna start fucking with you.
Except Red Cat, where the fucker will kill you.
Yeah, except for him.
Yeah.
Like he don't give a damn about you.
Yeah, he's just a homicidal maniac. He's a little drunk Irish goblin running around killing everybody. Like, I ain't got no time to do no fucking chores. I just take your shit.
I'm too busy killing.
Yeah, I got time for that.
He's also hammered.
Yeah,
he ain't doing no chores.
He's just an angry little man with a knife.
Again, with the same thing, as long as you keep them properly fed, they're willing to help you. If you don't, they're gonna hide your belongings. The funny part is, if you're crouched over, they'll just come up and kick you, knock you over.
But see, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
like, if you're watching it, you're like, look at this asshole.
Like, dude, how many times you gonna do that, man?
You fucking idiot.
Funny no more.
Look at you.
Well, start feeding you right, and I'll stop kicking you in the ass. But see, here's the thing, though. Is like what I knew of kobolds, they were like cave and mine spirits and creatures. Yeah.
Okay.
They'd be, they'd have their little candle because they were always in the dark. I didn't.
But that makes sense, though.
Also, house creatures as well.
It kind of makes sense with the canon, though, of the goblin. You know what I mean? Because it's like they were taking, they've been known to take women and children, hide them underground.
Yeah.
And you have the other ones that are sawing the fucking tree.
Yeah, underground.
You know what I mean? So now with the Germans, they're like, oh, they live in caves. Yeah. Makes sense because it's underground. So you're right, though. I mean, like some of them are consistent.
A lot of their, like I said, a lot of their core characteristics stick.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what they look like and how they act.
Okay.
Changes from country to country.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it seems to be
sometimes even from town to town, honestly.
Well, yeah, back then everything was oral, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they're all storytellers. especially like the elders, you know what I mean, would be the story holders.
Yeah,
And,
it's not like they had
you know,
TV and radio and shit. You know what I
well,
mean?
you know,
Or-
yeah, I mean, even
They
back
had
then, it's
nothing
like
better
that
to
phone
do but
game.
listen to the stories. And
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's going to vary from town to town, man. You know, but it does seem to be pretty consistent. I mean, like, you know, even if you saw, you know, Lord of the Rings, man, like, you know, when they were in the Mons Moria, like that place was infested with goblins. And yeah,
I'm surrounded by you.
yeah,
Fucking nerds.
I just let my nerd out unwittingly.
You fucking nerds.
But I mean,
well,
but even
I'll be
then,
honest, dude. I'm not a big.
even
Lord
then,
of
they
the
were
Rings
still little
fans.
pricks, though. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Well,
they were
there's even
still
accounts,
malicious.
dude, where even orcs are a variation of goblins.
Yeah.
So that's it goes back to that whole blanket term.
Yeah.
And if like coming up with a new name for it, goblin.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna start doing that.
You know, it seemed like, but they really didn't start getting a bad name till like, you know, I guess, you know, modern fantasy maybe.
Yeah.
Relatively
So
modern.
They were easily to demonize, maybe.
Well, look at
You know?
that. Look at their descriptions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
it's they're fucked looking. You know what I mean?
But see,
Of course,
a
they're
lot of,
scary.
like,
They're scary looking.
In like modern mythology of them, they're greedy,
Right.
hoarders of gold.
Yeah,
I never
hoarders of
really
gold
found
and
much
shiny things.
when I was
Yeah.
doing like research on like the actual folklore of them from way back when. I
Right.
never found a whole lot where they were greedy hoarders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
you're
a
right as
new
far as that's
attribute
more
that
like,
got put on them.
yeah, I
or
think you're
newish.
100% right. That's more modern fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they're kind of hoarders of, you know, gold and trinkets and things shiny, all things shiny, I guess.
Well, considering what they could be hoarding, I guess gold and coins, shit like that is pretty
Yeah.
good. I mean, you could be hoarding
It's-
cats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess it's a better.
Well, you know, like they said, you know, they were snatching babies. So I guess it's better than hoarding children or,
Yeah. Well, they were selling them kids.
yeah, pimping them
I
out.
just kind of figured they were
Jeffrey
eating
Epstein. Yeah.
Fucked up.
them. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one slide.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
God, what did I do?
But they were motherfuckers. That's for sure.
Instead of pizza gate, it was like mutton gate or what did they eat back then?
Mutton gate.
Gruel
Gruel
gate.
gate. Yeah, that sounds better. Gruel gate. Kind of rolls off the tongue.
Is that goblins?
It is goblins.
It's looking
Yeah.
like it, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, man, like goblins are pretty dope, man. There's a ton of information you guys want to learn more about it. I mean, just look it up. I mean, there's like so much stuff. It was fantastic. You know?
Yeah. This
I
stuff
mean,
goes deep.
It's
Yeah.
so many cultures have their version.
Yeah.
And some
mean,
of
like,
them
you
have
know-
multiple versions of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Like
you know,
they'll
like,
have the
I've
nice
also-
ones and they'll have the evil ones in the
Yeah.
same.
You got to have that duality, you know?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, good and bad, good and evil.
Yep.
You know, I mean, just, unjust.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
and even the green thing, man. You know, like, you know, I saw a few things where, like, you know, some could be red, some could be yellow. You know, and I think it's like you were saying, man. It all really depends on the region
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
exactly how that story, you know, would play out wherever you are.
Exactly. Well,
it's
everybody, fucking thanks for joining us. Goblins, man, that was fun. I enjoyed
Yeah, that was
talking
cool.
about goblins,
yeah,
man.
that one was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
It's
it.
even
I really
fun
did.
kind of learning about them, man.
It
Yeah.
was.
Because you think you know like a creature like that. Because
You think you know goblins?
Yeah, you think you know. You ain't
don't know
ready for
shit.
goblins.
You don't know shit.
You don't know shit about.
But like,
us.
when you think about it, man, like you think you know, kind of all there is to know about them.
Well, yeah, I think you come in with
They're
this
green, they're
preconceived
tiny,
idea.
they're greedy,
Yeah.
dangerous. And
Yeah.
then you start looking into them, like, oh, there's a lot more depth to these creatures than just like
They'll
what-
wash your windows. I
culture.
mean, they'll help you out.
Yeah, just feed them. That's all they need.
Yeah, that's all I ask for is food. I mean, I've never really seen them ask, you know, in all the lore that we've gone over, I've never seen them ask for anything more than something to eat, man.
Yeah. Well, then they get pissed. You know? I said
Yeah.
cheese its, not cheese nips. Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
God almighty. All right, everybody. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Game of Ray Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. New
YouTube.
videos are coming up this week. We'll probably have a couple episodes dropping on YouTube, so go and check it out. And as always, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank
See you
you.
later.